Here and we are live preparing. It says preparing. I hate when it says preparing. On Facebook, live on Facebook. Hey Laura, how you doing?
Excuse me, got a cough this morning. Sorry. Hi, Deb. How are you today?
I am doing good, and I am so excited about what we're going to be talking about today because I think that people need to hear this. And I just want to say one thing. I want to say I'm so very excited because I watch and I look at the views and the amount of views that we've been receiving on our videos, and they've been being shared. There's between 400 or 500 people that are watching things every week, and I feel like this is what we started. This is what we've envisioned. And again, guys, we're going to say it. Just keep inviting people onto our For the Health and Wellness of You Facebook group, because our fun and our passion right here is what we're doing. We're friends helping friends. And so today's topic is about agreeing or disagreeing agreeably. And I think that we can all say that is a very tough topic, but we're going to break it down a little bit today. And we welcome your comments. We welcome your feedback. We want to hear what you think about what we're talking about, what we're doing. Again, we're no experts, but what we do is we study. And Lori actually has got some amazing information. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Lori, because I can't wait to hear what you have to share.
Oh, thanks, Debbie. Yes, we are really excited about all the people that have been watching our live stream and getting involved in our Facebook page. It's amazing the stuff that I found. So I'm sorry if I turned away from the screen a little bit, but there's so much information I got to read. Do you know the phrase "agree to disagree" first appeared in print in 1770 in a memorial sermon preached by John Wesley at a funeral of his rival, George Whitefield? Isn't it interesting how far back that goes? And then it was saying about how they're still trying to, they're just still trying to figure this all out, how to handle it after all these years. But I did get some really good tips. First of all, when you're disagreeing or agreeing with somebody, when you have a disagreement, we always come into the fact that we don't agree with somebody about something. And the main thing that we have to do is we got to make sure that we are very kind to that person and that we're not mean and we respect them. That's really important. So I found some tips that were interesting. And there was 5 tips that I want to go over. First one was focus on the facts. Like saying to somebody, what is it you're saying? I disagree with you, and like have them kind of talk about what their meaning is, what their focus is, what they're trying to explain. Your point of view is that, and I believe this. So, it's just finding out the facts of what they're talking about, because you can't make an opinion unless you know exactly what they're meaning, because it can mean one thing, and once they explain it, it can mean another thing. The second one is using I statements, like instead of saying, "Are you crazy?" or "You must be joking." Use phrases like, "I'm sorry I have to disagree with you on this," or I have a completely different opinion than you. See, and so you got to be really careful, because you don't want to offend the person, but they're your friend, they're your family. You don't want to start any problems. Then the third one is seek and understand. So be a good listener, be respectful, like I said earlier, and be respectful of their perspective of what they're talking about. Okay, and then the things you use would be when you say blah, 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 can you elaborate on that? Or I understand on your thinking when you say blah, 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 or, can you say more about blah, 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 so you understand a little bit more what they're talking about. So far we have focus on facts, use an I statement, and seek understanding, okay? Then the fourth one I found was stay calm, avoid sarcasm. Oh, we're all good at that. Or yelling. Well, how many times do we get in a disagreement with somebody and we get louder and louder and louder? Being Italian, that's a very common thing about yelling and getting louder and louder. ask questions to the other person and ask their view on things. This shows that you're willing to understand the person's view.
We lost your camera, Laura.
Okay, sorry. You
That's
there?
okay. Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Use stuff like, just give me a moment to think. I'm feeling my emotions are taking over. Or can you come back? Can we come back to this, please, on another date or whatever? Just kind of walk away. Other solutions is number 5. It is useful to come to some kind of agreement, even if it's agree to disagree. Okay. And offering an alternative suggestion might often soften the discussion. All right. It's like, this is an example. Instead, maybe we could, or an alternate suggestion might be, you know what I mean? Walking away angry doesn't help the situation. After that, after you agree with and disagree, let it go. Move on. Okay, move on from it and whatever. So these are the 5 things again. Focus on facts, use I statements, seek to understand, stay calm, offer another solution. Okay. And like I said, be respectful. Everybody has a right to their opinion. And, you know, we all love each other. You know, we don't want to offend our friends. We don't want to offend our family, but we want to make sure that, you know, we get our point of view across and they get their point of view across, and we don't get mad about it. We have to understand that everybody has a right. So, all right, now my favorite subject here. Okay, dun, dun, dun. Okay, social media. Okay, we're all stuck at home, most of us, and we're on social media more than ever. And I'm sure a lot of you have been on Facebook or any kind of social media, and people post things, and you see how people post things back and respond and are angry. You know, what do? Well, you know what? I feel the best thing to do is that you don't even comment back. You know, let the person speak, let them speak their mind. I have seen on many posts, and they've been on even my own posts, where I've said something about what I feel about something, and then somebody writes something angrily, totally against me. I don't say nothing back, but one of my friends might say something back to that person. And then it starts a big argument. And it gets to the point where there's arguments going back and forth. So what I end up doing is end up deleting my post, because I want to be fair with everybody. Like I said, when you put something out on social media, you are opening it up for people to agree and disagree with you. You have to know you're doing that. You know, and so you have to take responsibility for that. So if you put something on there, politics, I know we're not supposed to talk about politics, or religion, and somebody doesn't agree with it, be prepared. People are going to say things about it, but that doesn't mean you stop posting it. I post things that I feel in my heart are right. Whether somebody likes it or not, it's their opinion. But I post it because I'm hoping I could reach somebody that feels the same way I do. And, you know, right now, the world is going crazy. There's so many people with so many opinions. So just be prepared. If you're going to put something on social media, know that you're going to be attacked one way or another, and learn how to just walk away from it and not say nothing back. All right, Deb, I'm going to put it back to you. I hope I helped people out with my little notes here.
Totally. I think you gave so much information of value. And I think that we all have to, and you know what, sometimes we all have to be reminded about this, but sometimes we don't, we need to hear this when other people are talking, because then we realize, like, they think the same way as we do. Like, maybe you and I are discussing stuff that other people feel like that's the way they feel, but then they have other people that don't feel that way. And so they at least know that there's other people that are on the same page. Okay. And I think social media you had touched on, I'm going to touch on one real quick one that came to my mind a second ago and it's a little bit different, it's a spinoff, but it's texting. I want to say one thing about texting. When people text an informational message to somebody, or they text a written out by themselves, and you don't know what tone it's in. Like, you can literally make a text and it could be in a very happy tone, or it could be in a very crass tone, it could be in a very negative tone, and the person who receives it can sometimes take it the wrong way, and it really is meant to be a different way. So a lot of times, don't be fearful of talking to people, or spend the time to call them and talk instead of texting out, so they don't take it wrong. Because I've literally seen people get mad at people, and the other person was like, what are you talking about? I didn't mean it that way. I meant it to mean it this way. And it was a 360 turnaround of everything. I've learned too, like that I talked to a couple weeks about that pause. Okay, so we're kind of doing that a little bit. Like, if we have like a situation where in my household, hey, pause. And sometimes I feel like, okay, we need to take a time out. Let's stop talking about this right now. Let's everybody kind of take a time out and try to collect our thoughts. So maybe we cool down a little bit, because maybe we're like really getting heated because one person's viewpoint is so strong, or their thought on doing something a certain way, or why didn't you do this, and I don't agree with the way you handled it, or whatever. And so if you're in a setting where you're with more than a few people too, and so you just say that you're out for dinner and somebody brings up a subject that you're just not really feeling real comfortable about, super easy. Be like, oh my goodness, what are you going to order? Like, try to change the subject, like, fast. Try to like divert the conversation, or be honest and just go, you know what, guys, forget it. Let's not talk about this. This is not worth it. Kind of try to, before it gets to the point where it goes sour, and then you've got people all like the whole night gets ruined, or the whole event. It could be anywhere that you're at. And pick your battles. Okay. If you truly don't believe something that somebody's talking about, just let it go. Let them vent, let them get it all out. Let them feel like, because love them for who they are, because obviously you're connected to them because of a reason. What is it? Is it a family member? Is it a neighbor? Is it a, loved, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, sibling, or a child, or a grandchild, whoever they are? Obviously you care about them. So put your priorities in line of how you want to handle it. There's a really good book that can help people, and I'm not telling everybody to go out and buy it. I'm not promoting it for that reason, but I'm just saying you can go probably to the library. But there's a book that Florence Littauer wrote, and it was called Personality Plus. Sometimes you can understand the way a person kind of ticks if you know more about their personality type. Now, there's other books out there that are personality books. They're really kind of fun to read, because you can kind of pick up on, like, well, this one has this trait, because, and it kind of shows you why they kind of like view something and how they react to something. A lot of it is on the way they react, and that's where the disagreement comes, because if they are like a fast reactor to fastly shoot their mouth off and kind of say something, and then it can explode, and then you can almost go back and say, how did this ever start? Well, how did we start getting mad at each other? Why are we even disagreeing on this subject? It doesn't even mean anything. It's not really that big of a deal on some stuff, but then on other stuff, it hits somebody really tough. It's a very, like, they're very passionate about how they feel. So it's kind of a respect thing that we have to kind of also add into everything, So I love what you talked about, Lori. In fact, if you want to, maybe we could post that up on our page, because I think that if somebody wants to go back through it, sometimes it's just a really good thing to remind ourselves we're all guilty.
Right.
We're all guilty of this. Okay, it happens, and so and it's true. What Laura's talking about with Facebook, Facebook is wonderful. That's why on this group, you guys, we made a big commitment. We said no negativity, no, and you can look at disagreeing agreeably about, it doesn't have to be about the current situations that we're facing today. It's about how you raise your kids, your grandkids, how you view silly things. It can even be about how you grocery shop. I mean, it could be a disagreement about like what kind of cereal you're buying. I mean, it could be the stupidest stuff, So anyways, with that, Laura, I'm turning it back to you. What are we going to do next week?
Oh, wow. We have a great thing for next week. We're going to talk about dealing with Halloween parties with the COVID. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're not
Okay.
sure who we're going to have as a guest on Wednesday, but we'll let you know on our Facebook page. I just want to say one more thing about agreeing to disagreeing. Just remember, don't be offended by other people's opinions. Love them for who they are. And you know what? Respect them, because we're not all the same. God did not make us all the same. And the more you realize that, the more you're going to get along with them, and that's all I want to say about that. But I want to say thank you, everyone. We love doing this on Fridays. We're excited about it. We plan things all week of what we're going to do. If you have any suggestions, please send us a message. If you have any questions about anything, please send us a message. We'll answer you back. But in that note, I want to say happy Friday. Have a great autumn weekend. Enjoy your family and get along with each other. Take care, everyone.
Sounds like a plan.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.